I have a little bit of news as I am dropping down through here. I am not actually 100% happy with this. I ended up, after I finished building all this terrain here and this massive tree here, having a better idea on what I should build. So, it's going bye-bye. It hurts to undo all that progress, but I had a great idea for this obsidian plain down here, and the terrain did not look as it should look according to the lore I have set out for this world. Hello, my name is Vetror, and welcome to the second episode in my Minecraft Creative Building series. As you saw in the intro, I had an idea for the origin point of the massive obsidian field I am currently working on building that this base is going to be placed in. As things fall in the shape of a parabola, I have built a little bit of one right here to find ground zero for the obsidian field. It's going to spread quite a bit out in every direction. Because of this, today I am going to be building the first step of this pyramid, or at least this wall right here, as well as cutting out the outline for this obsidian path using the Wand of Destiny, and doing a little bit of terraforming with it. I'm not going to attempt another one of those trees quite yet. To start out the actual projects I'm going to be working on today, I will be outlining the massive crater that I am going to be terraforming. It's going to be peaking right around here. That is where the source came from, and it's going to dip up and around in a circular pattern as the blast was fired from right where I'm standing, going through and covering a large area around here. There's going to be a little bit back here, but as it was angled down this way, most of the crater is going to be here, and that is where this pyramid was originally built. I'm going to time lapse this. This is going to take quite a while. That time lapse took me 3 hours, and I have no words to describe how painful it was the last hour and a half. I much prefer the creative side where you're actually building stuff instead of just working on the same thing that is basically click 1, click 2, set stone. This thing is massive. I am looking forward to having to terraform this entire thing and make it blend in with the surrounding terrain. One side of it, it's even with render distance at 17 chunks, it's still along the long axis. The end of this crater is out of render distance by a fairly sizable chunk. Right before I started this, I spent a little bit of time off camera working on building these. These are some sort of bulbish plant meant to be a bioluminescent light, just so that the time lapses look a lot better when they're underwater, because I absolutely hated how I could not see whenever I was making the time lapses from the last video. I think these, well, definitely not perfect. Placing a lone shroom light or sea pickles all over the floor would be better, but I like these a lot more just because Minecraft did not design these plants. I was the one who created it. The lore behind this is that this entire crater was created by a massive outpouring of lava, and these plants sprung up and are drawing energy from the built-in heat and pressure from the hardened magma. With that in mind, I am going to start work on one of the walls of the pyramid that I plan to put right here. What I'm going to do with it is I'm going to set up a small layer of obsidian right here. Probably not going to spend too much time with that as far as terraforming goes. Then I'm going to put a couple of these light things on the obsidian, and then I'm going to build the wall. We'll see how this turns out as a time lapse. Let's go. We are going to start off with one of the big energy light plants here. We're going to make about 3 of these. I have a very weird block palette for this build. It is going to be red, blue, and orange. This is not the only build I intend to build in this world. I intend 24 mega bases. Of these mega bases, 5 of them are inhabited by characters I made up that are actually inspired by real life people. I asked the person in question their favorite color, and that was what they answered. And my choice for the color red came because, well, I think that color for some reason completely describes the person in question's personality. Not going to work too much on the floor quite yet, but that is going to be coming. The trick with this is trying to get extra texture into this, which is proving to be a little bit more difficult than what one would think. I do not like how flat this wall seems. That is a lot better. I think that's a good height. That will make the top layer go up about 6 blocks above the water line, which will be about perfect. I'm having an issue with spacing, so I might need to move this over 1, or I might need to move that side over 1. It'll probably end up being this side that gets moved over 1, but I need 51 blocks. It's not 51 blocks. Alright, this part of this build is done. I like this. This actually, in my opinion, looks pretty good. One of my favorite things about it is the contrast between the blue and the orange. Probably going to end up doing a bunch of editing of this thing just to get this precisely how I want it. There's not a lot of depth in this thing. I might end up building a few more arches into this. I'm not quite sure yet. Personally, I'm very happy with it. I'm going to start with terraining right here with this massive monolith in the center of this portion of the crater. I'm going to use more black blocks as it is the starting point. I'm going to transition to gray as I get closer to the edges over here. That way I can blend in the crater with the terrain. Let's hit this time lapse. I have one question for you guys. What do you think of the shape of this massive terrain blob? Not sure if I quite like it. I know I need to bring the ground down a little bit all around the circle of it. I'm probably going to have this road go down into the valley and just split around it in a circle. Next thing I need to do with this is the detailing. I'm going to use crying obsidian and black concrete. I'm going to put it in a bunch of blobs all over it, as shades of terrain typically come in big massive chunks, as you can see through the picture on screen. With that in mind, let's start the detailing. Well, I think that was rather productive. We finished one of the walls, which is behind me, and made massive progress on the monolith in the center. I'm still going to need to take this down below here, but probably only a couple of blocks. Fortunately, that is all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you made it this far,